So tell me a little bit about, basically, you were saying, you guys had put that 7-inch out with Tim Harris.
Yes.
How did that then go from you guys putting that branch manager single out to then getting, the attention of Discord and getting on Discord?
Well, we were at our, like, we had good rehearsals, man. I'll just put it that way. And we were ready to head out and play live. So I believe Ian Mackay saw us at a couple of these venues, and next thing you know, he's just like, we want to get you guys in the studio and record for like possible LP.
Last but not least, this is Pastry Adam.
Yay!
The beauty of Pastry Adam.
Last chance.
Here goes. Wait.
Oh, one.
Unshelled. Punk rock.
Oh.
Here goes. Here we go.
At that time, we had just went to WGNS beforehand, and we paid for the session ourselves and used some of those elements for like a session that didn't get released. We didn't finalize it yet. It needs to be mastered and fine-tuned a little bit. It's just like rough takes. It's not engineered all the way through. So that's around, there's like 4 or 5 tunes. Let's see. So
where was WGNS?
At that time, they were in Arlington, and it's for We Got No Station. That was the name of the studio. So, and that was run by Charles Bennington. He did that session.
From Bloody Mannequin Orchestra, right?
Got it. Yes, man. That's very good. Very good. Cool dude. And then also...
and you knew him through Mike?
Yeah, because Mike and myself played in the Bloodbats, which was like this Charles's little his project, a summer project in like 87. So 87 was a very
I've ever heard that Bloodbats recording.
Oh, dude, you should get to it, man. You should get to it. If I think you know what? There's 2 LPs. Stopping a freight train on a dime. That's the second one, and the first one is the Bloodbats, and I think it's just called self-titled, but don't quote me on that. I see the moniker and everything, and that had members of Dag Nasty in it. It was a blast. We were in the original Inner Ear studios, and we went to the basement in Arlington, and Don recorded and engineered that one. So, I mean, it was fun. Colin was on drums from Dag Nasty, Colin Sears, and then Roger Marbury.
And Colin played in Pudwhack too, right?
Yes, you got it, man. Yes. And he's doing all kinds of stuff. I think Dagnassi's going to get rolling again soon. I just saw him a couple of months ago at the Inner Ear book symposium, I guess you could say. So for Don's book. Oh my goodness. But yeah, man. Oh God. I think I have
Was GNS like you know, using the same equipment that like you might have at Inner Ear, or was it, you know, was it more of a like a home studio kind of setup?
I would say it's right in the middle, man. It was very comparable. It's very, I'm not exactly sure what boards they had at the time. I want to say that they were Neves, but don't quote me on that. But they were very compatible in the sense that it was like pro equipment. It was a step above, you know, like hold on. IE. It's a step above.
Yeah. Oh my God, yes. I had that same Tascam. That was my first Tascam ever.
I
That's
love that thing. That's my
That is the
second.
exact one I had that I borrowed from my friend Eric Hyder. That's what I recorded all my stuff on in college. So
You know,
step up from that. Was it going to computer, or was it going direct to tape at that time?
Rec to tape to a DAT. It was a DAT those DAT things had just come on the scene. So
Mhm.
there was a DAT tape recording.
What did you record the one before that with, the one that you did with Tim Harris?
That was at Inner Ear. That was
That was at Inner Ear too, huh?
it was with now the guy Eli
And,
Janney.
and you recorded Foundation at Inner Ear too. So you were kind of old hat to Inner Ear at that point.
Now that you mention it, yes, dude, it's so wild. So I think we had three. Yeah, yep. We certainly were. And now I
Yeah,
look back.
Eli doesn't get as much credit, you know, as Don, but Eli, you know, engineered almost all of those sessions, right?
Did, and he was great, man. He would so funny. I just remembered, I don't know why. It's like the funniest thing, man. He would have like a Dr. Pepper, right? He would have a Dr. Pepper and it would stay through the whole session. He'd take a little sip and it would stay through the whole recording ground up. He was just taking it nice and slow. But now, you know, he's playing keyboards in the Tonight Show band with Seth Meyers. Did you know that?
No, that's really
Yeah, he's
cool.
isn't that cool? So if you stay up late and see Seth Meyers, you'll see Eli on the keys, man.
Here is the AG Man with the song that we think is perfect for the Donald.
1, 2, 3, 4. There's a man that you need to know. He's got his own reality show. If you're a dummy or a loser, he'll tell you so. He's gonna build a wall to keep out Mexico. His name is Donald Trump, and he doesn't give a. He won't get put around by the Chinese. He's gonna bring ISIS to their knees. He doesn't say thank you, excuse me, or please. He's had multiple bankruptcies. His name is Donald Trump, and he doesn't give a.
Did you guys utilize him on any of the sessions? Did you utilize his playing ability?
Not his playing ability, unfortunately, but he was easy to work with, very low key, dude. Just like he was a dream because, you know, there's already enough pressure to be like, okay, everything we do right now is going to be captured on tape. All right, so that going in there, you know how it is, because like everything, dude, everything, your hand sliding down on the guitar, getting ready to play a note, everything is being recorded. So he was very low key. Unfortunately, we did not utilize him with his musical prowess, unfortunately. Shoot.
So being on Discord, I
Yes.
mean, you've been on a few different labels now in your time.
Yes.
What would you say was kind of special about being on Discord?
Man, Andy, that is such a great question, man. there's again no pressure. It was like there wasn't like an A&R person that's going to say you can't dress like that, cut your hair, make your hair long, even though that's part of marketing. I mean, you could, it's well documented that it takes that kind of grooming, I guess, or at the time of whatever you're trying to accomplish. But you can, I even saw like Peter Frampton just talk about how David Bowie knew how to play that component of the music business. And I mean, if you're into that, that's great. I'm not dogging it. I mean, how can you dog David Bowie, man?
No, not
But
at all. We don't
you
do
know
that.
what I'm saying? No. So it's like, having said that, there was no pressure, man. No pressure at all. It's just like, we like what you do. Here's Ian's quote. I hate putting words into people's mouths, but he was just like, you guys are organic. I want to try to capture what you do live in the studio. That's the only thing. And I was like, well, that's a green light all the way. That he's like, come on, let's do it. So with that, there wasn't a big to do. So the pressure was off. So you can, like, all three of us could concentrate at the task at hand and just get well rehearsed. So the session would go smooth and not waste people's time in the studio trying to work out a tune, dude. You do that beforehand. And then you go in there and commit it. Just fine tune it a little bit, of course. And that was one of the better caveats of being on Discord.
And you knew the other end of the business from having worked at Ross Records as well. So you knew kind of the distribution end and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, not to get into the fine numbers or anything like that, but the splits with Discord and its bands, so I've heard, are pretty great. Like, you know, almost unheard of in the industry.
That is true. But it's sad too, Andy, in this regard, that me personally, I'll speak for myself. I wanted to push back to Discord the magnanimous efforts that or the what is that, like the magnanimous gesture that Ian gave to us. I wanted to push that back tenfold, at least, by like going out to tour, trying to like do everything we can to like push the product to a degree, but that did not happen like how hope it because it came back kind of mostly unsold, like worldwide. So it's like, okay, well, dang, man, what's going on?
Why do you think that was?
I think it was just like the wrong time for that, for the music that we were doing. But that was our time that we were making those compositions. I can only like speculate on why it didn't. I mean, it was distributed, it was pressed, we toured. It just didn't catch on,
And you
man. It
toured
just
with
didn't.
Fugazi as well, so like you kind of couldn't have a better touring partner
Yeah,
to tour those albums with.
that is correct. That is very true.
Like
And
you said, you're playing New York, you're playing to 3,000 people in New York with Joan Jett and MCA on the side of the stage. Like,
come on. It's just how it goes sometimes. I don't know. I just got to keep, for me, I just got to keep writing at my own pace. And there's, again, that's another thing about Discord. It's like, hey, you got something? Cool. If not, there's no deadline. It's not like a 5 LP contract within, a year and a half. Something like unachievable.
those other recordings from GNS, though, you can put those out yourself independently, right? If you want to.
Yeah, that's true. Get back in there and twist it and twist the knobs a little bit. And I have the DAT. They're sitting right here. I see them right now. It's so funny. Oh my God, I found it. Look, man, check it out. Can you read
Yeah,
that?
too bad you don't have a DAT machine.
I know exactly. And that one. Oh boy. Da-da. Let's see. I don't have my sunglasses. I mean, my reading glasses on. Oh, next. Okay, last one. So,
Oh yeah,
you see
that.
Yep.
That's the first one. That's the 7-inch right there.
You go. You got it, Andy. So it's like, who knows, dude? Who knows, Andy? Who knows? I just got to get off my keister and get busy on it. It's just been sitting there.
Well, let's talk about your new recordings as well, because that's big time what we're here to do. We've been going down, this whole nostalgia trip for a while, but you're still, you're still making music. You're still out there playing. So tell me a little bit about this new project that you're working on.
Oh man, Andy. So, man, it's called Demetrius Callaway and Friends. That's my moniker. That's my new band name for now.
You're Demetrius Callaway, or
yeah, dude,
okay.
I am, and Friends. So it's going to be, hopefully I can get some folks. I want to get Jim Thompson on drums from the Alternatives. We've been just missing each other, but we have been in talks. So
I hear Ian is his landlord.
I did not know that. Is it?
That's what Chris told me.
Oh, gee whiz. I got to catch up with Jimmy T. Man.
I thought that was hilarious.
That's pretty funny, man. That's funny. But it's on Charles Road Records by my buddy Dave Blackwell. He's got his home studio in Silver Spring, and he's got a record label called Charles Road Records, and it's coming out on October 6th, a Friday. An original piece of music. I like it a lot. I hope that you liked it, Andy. And you said, did you listen to it?
I did. I listened to it a bunch of times.
Okay, and what do you think, dude?
Yeah, I'm ready to talk about it. I think it's an interesting direction for you going and playing what's ostensibly a blues song.
Okay.
Updated. It had, the concepts are kind of old school blues, and it has a blues guitar sound, but something that's modern as well at the same time.
like a white mouth mule. I like to sit down, but there ain't no stool. A right to life, sure don't wanna die. Well, each wishing well just makes me wanna cry. Two sets of rules, best haste your race. Forever black, I'm all up in your face. Just one more thing I want you to know. This white mouth mule's got room to grow. White mouth. Hey! At the table I hit 21. The house said different. Ain't no A's for you, son. Just a patronize and slap on the back. Both doors are exits. Forever we're black. One more thing I want you to know. This white mouth mule's got room to grow. White mouth mule, yeah. White mouth
I tried to get it stripped down. I tried to get a groove to it. It's just like I can always. My buddy Joey P told me, he's the sound man for Fugazi, by the way. He said, Ron, you can always go back and do it with a band. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna have to let this one go and perhaps present it to some potential band members who would like to play it live. So that's
sort of like the demo version, and then you'll get the Demetrius Calloway like band together as well.
Exactly, Andy.
Or the And Friends.
And Friends, Andy, you're spot on, bro. That is correct. That is correct.
You know, it's hard to keep bands together, especially at like our age. It's really hard to get people out to play often enough to really, get something together.
It's very true. It's very true. That's why I was just like, hey, it's not exactly, it's very well recorded, I think, but at the same time, I sort of miss the component of having a band in the studio. I'm so used to that, just like jiving with that and bringing up the sounds and,
you were talking about, you could get that sort of, like you said, inbred thing before, where it's just you. And there's something cool about just you expressing yourself, but then there's also something amazing that happens when you bring the other people into it.
That is correct. I would not argue with that at all. In fact, I would 110% agree. Yes, totally agree. Yes.
So let's get to the subject matter of the song,
Okay.
White Mouth Mule.
Uh-huh.
So I had to look it up
Okay.
to try to find out what a white mouth mule was
Okay.
and stuff, and like really dig into it. And
Uh-huh.
there's some interesting references about it online.
Okay.
But I'd like you to tell me what you think, like lyrically, the song is about.
Just like how like the social inequalities that we all face and see, and how like it's not there's not a lot you can do about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like trying to separate like salt from stew. It's just impossible. It's impossible. But my friend Martinez, he would always, I was a courier with him at some of the network television stations, and to be quite honest, it's NBC News. So he would come back from like a run downtown to like Capitol Hill, and he's like, man, they got me like a white mouth mule today, boy. They got me today like a white mouth mule. And I'm just like, Martinez, that's hilarious. Even though it's sad, it's kind of a very, very vivid understanding of like, man, this is really, weighing me down, man. I'm working as much as I can. I'm working 2 or 3 jobs, and I'm kind of standing still and not really seeing any progress. And it's just like more or less my commentary on the shrinking middle class and the depravity in I'll just say Black neighborhoods in the inner cities. It's really, really sad that people have to live next door to dilapidated buildings and not be able to have like housing insurance, man, because of those buildings. But every day it goes down. So it's kind of like a commentary on what I see here in Baltimore, quite frankly. So hopefully it can change. I don't know. Art can change people's ways of thinking, but just like trying to help people realize that it can make a difference if we all see like the next step that we could take to like quell that kind of like inequality. So that's what I'll say, Andy, just off the top of my head. I hope that's plain. It's kind of a difficult thing
Did
because
you experience
yeah.
that as part of the music scene? Did you experience any of that, racism? I imagine you experienced some touring around. Like, obviously, we talked about the Nazis trying to turn the bus over and whatnot. And there were always somewhat neo-Nazis and skinheads hanging around the punk scene a little bit. But did you experience that in Reston, in DC, in the Northern Virginia area?
Andy, that is not per se. I'm sure it existed, and I'm sure it was like there, but I was not looking for that. I was just I was just like, I just have to play this music. I'm not really like trying to even get on a political platform about it, or like this pro this or that or anti this or that. I was just trying to just play music from where I thought it would be necessary. It's kind of like almost like a communal thing. That's why I was trying to talk about anything tribal. If we come together and like work out our differences and talk about like the inequalities, and I think we could see things that would make us happier in the long run because of the connections that we all have as humans. That's the thing. That's the thing. If we could see that we're all connected, and I think that's another thing that arts does, like plays, like, like Raisin in the Sun, for instance, or, things of that nature. I think it's very important. Like Abby Lincoln there's a song with her and her husband at the time, Max Roach. It's Driver Man. And when I heard Driver Man, DRIVAH, Driver Man, that just like, I took pause. It was like early 60s, I believe, like 62, 63, something like that. It is on YouTube. It's a black and white video. They play it live.
Driver man, he made a life, but the mammy ain't his wife. Chopping cotton, don't be slow. Better finish out your row. Keep a moving with that plow. Driver man'll show you how. Get to work and root that stump. Driver man'll make you jump. Better make your hammer ring. Driver man'll start to swing. Ain't but two things on my mind. Driver man and quitting time. Driver man, the kind of boss. Ride a man and lead a horse. When his cat o' nine-tail fly, you be happy just to die. Run away and you be found by his big old red boner hound. Patty roll up, bring you back, make you sorry you is black. Driver man, he made a life, but the mammy ain't his wife. Ain't but two things on my mind. Driver man and quitting time.
It was incredible. And after I had like sat down with it, because I belong to like this club called Jazz Reflections, and sometimes they post things in the group. And to make a long story short, after I heard that song, I went to my notebook and I just wrote everything down in like 10 seconds for the lyrics to White Mouth Mule. It just came in like I just kept writing. I did it, and I was like, that's it. I was like very happy. The next day I looked at it, I was like, okay, it's in the can. I'm very happy with those lyrics. So yeah, it's very rare, man. It's rare for me at this age. I mean, it's when I was 27, I have like a whole bunch of notebooks and go like, oh, look at the song title, blah, 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 blah. Now it's kind of like, it's like, I won't say hit or miss, but it's less of an occurrance. I'll say that.
Well, I would say that even at the time, like we were talking about, sort of why branch manager was successful or not successful,
Right.
At the time, there weren't many groups that looked like you guys.
That's true. So yeah, I think, Andy, not to cut you off, but I think it depends on how you define success. I think that we were very fortunate in that 7-year span from 1990 to 97. We did a lot of achievements. So in that regard, I think, in my opinion anyway, I think we were successful. I mean, we weren't on the front of Rolling Stone, but it's just, I know what you mean. There weren't a lot of bands that looked like that, especially trios. The only band that comes to mind is All I Want to Be With You. Those guys, man. Hootie and the Blowfish.
Oh God, Hootie and the Blowfish.
You know what I'm saying? And they blew up. And then
no,
you know what
I mean, they had like the biggest album. They sold more than the freaking Beatles at that time. But I'm talking like your music wasn't Hootie and the Blowfish. You guys are playing a kind of punk rock alternative that sort of only exists in the DC area in some ways, and So I don't even necessarily know what to define it as, like genre. I don't know. We'll just, for lack of a better term, you just call it rock or alternative,
Yes.
But like there weren't a lot of mixed racial bands with a black front person playing rock music
Right. Lenny
in,
Kravitz.
in the early 90s. And like even the bands that we can say, another little black kid like growing up in Reston, if he's gonna be looking and like picking up a guitar, so what's he looking at? Like maybe it was Living Color,
Yep.
maybe it's Fishbone,
Right.
Bad Brains,
Lenny
Death
Kravitz.
before that, but like even Death, I didn't really know about until the documentary, about them.
Yep.
And your vocals sound quite a bit like Angelo from Fishbone. I can hear a lot of Fishbone on that song.
I'll take that. I'll take that as a compliment. I mean, those guys, man, that's another thing, dude. Oh my God, they are rolling. They are still rolling. And more props to those guys. And it's wild, Andy, because it's like oh my God, it's like, talk about disparity. Or disparaging circumstances. Those guys were the LA scene. Those guys pulled in, no doubt. They pulled in the Chili Peppers. They did all the groundwork, and
and then don't get the same like sales, but they get the same props.
Yes, they do. And it's really funny, man, because it's like I like touring. It's one of the hardest things that I've done. I enjoy touring. That's just me personally speaking. I enjoy touring, but when I see those guys going for it like that, I cannot. I'm not trying to say I'm a punk for not going out on the road, because I did go out on the road. So it's like at this stage of my life, I'm just like, I really.
You went out for a couple of years. They went out for a couple of decades.
Yeah, a lifetime. They just have to do it. There's no turning back, which is great. Which is great, and it's rhetorical. It's, in my mind anyway, it's rhetorical. If that's what they want to do, that's great, man. But the road, oh my God, Andy, it's just like, and I'm not complaining. It's a beautiful thing. I don't know if you saw Green Book. Did you see Green Book?
Oh yeah.
What a gripping movie, man. It's like, another early 60s like reference there. But it's like, when you see Green Book, those were like, like four people.
That was brutal, and that's and even then, playing the South then obviously was a whole different thing.
A whole ball of wax.
But like you said before, even 20 years past the riots or whatever, not that much difference.
I think
and people's minds and attitudes and stuff when it comes to race. I mean, we were lucky that we grew up in like Northern Virginia, which is ostensibly the South, but not. and the attitudes were very different. It was rare that you kind of encountered that thinking, but
That's
but half the country, it's not like that.
I know. Oh, Andy, I could not have said it. I'm so glad you said that. I could not have said it any better. And again, I agree with you, man. I appreciate you. It's kind of rough for me because I don't want to be like the I would like to be the voice of reason, but I'm not the voice of like a generation. But again, like I think art can change people's ways of thinking. I really do, for the better, for the better.
Well, in a way, you are a voice for the Northern Virginia, like 80s and 90s generation that I'm talking about.
It's very wild. That's cool.
And you know, like I said, there weren't a lot of front men like you. So in a way, we started out talking about how you might have been more comfortable kind of behind the scenes and maybe with Dave Allen out front.
Yes. Yes.
You know, you might have been more comfortable in that situation, but it's probably better in the long run, you know, for all of us that there were more voices out there like yours.
That's amazing, Andy. I will take that. That is very gratifying. It's just kind of like when you were saying that, it just jumped into my mind. It's just like Thelonious Monk, man, it was a big influence on me, and I think that's what I took the cue from him. It's like, wow, he went ahead and like he put a group together, and he's the face of the music there, and it's kind of interesting that you said that because that I appreciate it. I'm deeply moved by that, man. Because like when you're inside your own skin, you don't know what's going on, man. I appreciate that. Those props I will take.
I love also that you're drawing from like this whole tradition where you're talking about, you know, you got Demetrius Calloway, which is in a little bit of nod to Cab Calloway. You got Abby Lincoln. You got, you know, Thelonious Monk, Jimi Hendrix, all the way through to, you know, we're talking about you and the Bad Brains and Fishbone and Living Color and bands like that.
Oh my God.
You know, this is drawing on a long tradition when you go from the blues, like American, like truly American music, and jazz that influenced everything that came after that. And you're steeped in this like punk rock hardcore of the DC area and go-go.
Yes.
Coming up with Unity.
Yes. It's great.
And you know, and you're carrying on that tradition, doing like blues rock music, but into, you know, a whole new freaking millennium.
Oh man, I had to keep going, Andy. I didn't want to quit. I wanted to quit, but I was just like, during the pandemic, I was like, you know what? Let me just regather here and see if I can recalibrate and come up with something that I thought was interesting, and I hope people do enjoy it in the long run. Maybe in a few years or months, someone will like it. So then that's all that I'm really asking for.
And you're continuing to write, which is also sort of a tradition from your mom.
Right,
you know, a teacher in the area.
Right.
And I'm sure that she's proud that you're a writer, you know, and that you're continuing to write.
Oh, Andy, this is a beautiful thing, man. I appreciate that. It's glowing terms, man. I don't take praise very well, as you can see. So it's like fading away. But thank you for those kind words, Andy. I really do appreciate that. And your recognition means a lot, dude. I'm serious.
No, I appreciate you continuing to send me music. It's really fun to have you on the show and catch up with you again. This is, just great talking to you on a Saturday morning. I can think of no way I'd rather wake up, grab my coffee and talk to Ron for an hour or so.
Cinco de Mayo, killing time, doing laundry that isn't mine. That's the brakes, I'm still chewing the fat. After this, I got to feed the cat. Tell me what you think if I saw things your way. But my cry keep calling you. Washing windows, there's a full-time job. So I quit, I couldn't join the mob. They turned me on, but they turned me loose. Two-time champ, so they called me Deuce. Hey, hey! Tell me what you think if I saw things your way. Would my cry keep calling you? Hey, a motive to believe, don't let those peace birds fly. I was coming up empty, complete the circle and die. The company in the glee, the track of survival in anything tribal.